Cowboys Nation is in disbelief after explosive comments from Brian Flores just sent shockwaves through the league. What he said has instantly fueled Blockbuster trade talk, raised eyebrows across front offices, and sparked wild speculation about a massive move involving Dallas. The timing is unreal, the wording was intentional, and fans are scrambling to connect the dots. Is this smoke, or the first crack in something huge about to happen? One thing is certain, Flores' words just turned the Cowboys rumor mill up to maximum chaos. Cowboys Nation, stop whatever you're doing right now, because what just came out today has the entire NFL buzzing, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this could change everything we thought we knew about the Dallas Cowboys' future. A potential blockbuster trade, shocking comments, and a name that nobody expected to be connected to Dallas in this way. Brian Flores just spoke, and what he said about the Cowboys has fans, insiders, and even rival teams reacting fast. This is one of those moments where you feel the ground shifting under the franchise, and you can already tell this story is far from over. It all started quietly, as these things usually do. A media appearance, a simple question, nothing that looked explosive on the surface. Brian Flores was asked about teams with untapped potential going into the next NFL season, and when the Dallas Cowboys were mentioned, his response wasn't generic. It wasn't the usual coach speak. He paused, smiled, and then said something that sent shockwaves across the league. He said the Cowboys are closer than people think, and that they have pieces in place that other teams would kill for. That alone raised eyebrows, but then he went even further. Flores hinted that Dallas is a team that just needs the right alignment and a few bold decisions to completely flip the narrative. Cowboys fans immediately picked up on those words, because bold decisions and alignment are not phrases you casually throw around. Especially not when the Cowboys are entering one of the most important off-seasons in recent memory. And here's where things get crazy, because league insiders started connecting dots almost immediately. Within hours, reports began surfacing that Dallas has quietly explored trade scenarios involving major defensive assets, and some sources are even suggesting the Cowboys have had internal discussions about making a splash move that would shock the fanbase. This is not about depth players. This is not about minor tweaks. This is about a potential blockbuster trade that could redefine the identity of this team. Now let's be very clear. Nothing is official yet. But when someone like Brian Flores speaks the way he did, NFL front offices listen. Flores is known around the league as one of the sharpest defensive minds in football. He doesn't talk just to talk. He calculates every word. And when he points out Dallas as a team on the verge of something big, that's not accidental. What really set social media on fire was when Flores said that the Cowboys' defense is one elite adjustment away from being dominant. Not one elite player. One adjustment. That could mean scheme. That could mean philosophy. Or that could mean moving on from someone and bringing in a new cornerstone piece through a trade. And Cowboys fans know exactly why that comment hit so hard. Because this defense has talent. Micah Parsons is already a superstar. Trayvon Diggs, when healthy, is a game changer. Darren Bland showed he can be elite. But there have been moments where this defense disappeared in big games. Moments where adjustments didn't come. Moments where opposing offenses exposed weaknesses that everyone could see except the coaching staff. Flores knows this. The league knows this. And now the Cowboys are being called out indirectly, but very clearly. Here's where the blockbuster trade rumors come into play. Multiple league sources are saying that Dallas has at least discussed the possibility of moving a high-profile offensive name in exchange for defensive reinforcements or draft capital. That alone would be shocking. The Cowboys are not known for being aggressive sellers. They like their stars. Jerry Jones loves his stars. So the idea that Dallas would even consider trading a big-name offensive player tells you how serious this offseason could be. And fans are split. Some are saying this is exactly what the Cowboys need. A bold, fearless move that finally shows they're done being comfortable. Others are terrified that the front office could make the wrong call and set the team back years. That tension is exactly why this story has exploded. Brian Flores also mentioned accountability. That word keeps coming up when people talk about Dallas. Accountability. He said championship teams don't protect reputations, they protect standards. Let that sink in. Cowboys Nation knows there have been players, coaches, and even executives who seem untouchable. Flores' comment felt like a direct challenge to that culture. Almost like he was daring the Cowboys to prove him right. Now imagine this scenario. Dallas pulls the trigger on a trade that sends shockwaves through the NFL. A trade that brings in a defensive leader, someone who can change how offenses game plan against the Cowboys. Suddenly, Flores' comments don't feel like speculation. They feel like a preview. And don't forget, Brian Flores has history with dramatic turnarounds. He's seen what happens when a team commits fully to a vision. He's also seen what happens when teams hesitate. His words sounded like advice, but also like a warning. Dallas can't stay stuck in the middle anymore. Either go all in or accept that the narrative won't change. The timing of this is also critical. Dak Prescott's future, the contract decisions, the pressure on the coaching staff, the fan frustration after another disappointing postseason. Everything is converging at once. This offseason was always going to be big. But now it feels massive. What's fascinating is how players around the league are reacting. You've got former Cowboys, current NFL defenders, and even rival fans chiming in online, saying Dallas has the talent but not the killer instinct. Flores basically echoed that sentiment without saying it outright. And when that kind of consensus forms, front offices feel it. Jerry Jones has always said he's willing to take risks. The question is whether he's willing to take this kind of risk. A blockbuster trade doesn't just affect the roster. It affects the locker room. It sends a message. Either no one is safe or we're serious about winning right now. That message could energize the team or fracture it. That's the gamble. And here's another angle nobody is talking about enough. If Dallas makes a move like this, it could completely reshape the NFC landscape. Teams that thought they had the Cowboys figured out would have to rethink everything. That's why this story matters beyond just Dallas fans. The entire conference is watching. Brian Flores didn't name names. He didn't confirm trades. But the way he spoke, the confidence, the timing, and the reaction from insiders all suggest something is brewing. The Cowboys don't usually leak like this unless there's real smoke. And right now, there's a lot of smoke. Cowboys Nation, this is one of those moments where you need to pay attention. The next few weeks could define the next few years of this franchise. Will Dallas finally make the bold move everyone's been begging for? Or will this just be another offseason of talk, hope, and what-ifs? One thing is certain. Brian Flores just turned up the pressure. He put the spotlight back on the Cowboys in a way that feels different. More intense. More urgent. And now, the front office has to respond, whether they like it or not. So let me know what you think. Do you want the Cowboys to go all in and make a blockbuster trade, even if it means losing a big name? Or do you think this team should stick together and try again? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is just getting started. If anything breaks, you already know we'll cover it immediately. Cowboys Nation, buckle up. This offseason might be one for the history books.